Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Beef, where we not only talk about everyday problems, we talk about everyday solutions.
Yeah. Hello, Bob.
Hey.
How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Good. You look good. If that means anything.
You know, I've had a few people tell me that.
Yeah, you look dapper.
I don't know why. Yeah.
You look like you're going to the gym.
That's what somebody told me.
Yeah.
That hadn't seen me in a while. They're like, "Did you lose all kinds of weight?" Which, of course, the first thing that implies is that I was a big fat pig.
Yeah, that you had a lot of weight to lose. Right, exactly.
So either right now I'm emaciated,
right?
or I was, a pork. You know, but anyway, I said,
and in your head you say to yourself, "I got to wear this shirt more often." It must be. It must be.
I said, no, I didn't lose that much. A couple pounds maybe, but not too much. So she was like, "Oh, wow, you look really fit. Like you've been working out." I'm like,
"Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Good.
Okay, good."
Kind of puff it up a little bit.
I really haven't. Yeah. I mean, I do push-ups every day. This is my...
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Well...
It makes a big difference.
It didn't for a very long time because I had this like inclined push-up thing. And I would do like 100 of them, which almost seems too easy. If you're doing 100 push-ups, you're probably doing them incorrectly.
You're probably not doing them right. Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not on your knees, right? You're not doing them from your knees or anything, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
I'm just doing it, No. But I would, then I could get on the ground and do regular push-ups. I'd still be able to do like 75 of them, something like that.
Nice.
Which isn't so bad, So then that thing broke and I got a different slightly inclined bar that like the position is different and all of a sudden now I can't do 100. But
are they like the handle ones, like they're individual, or is it an actual?
Yeah, well, a friend of my cousin's soon to be husband, not that matters, gave me that as a gift, and I was using that. But his dog had chewed it up before, which to him made no difference. He was like, "Hey," he was so proud of giving me this thing. I was like so happy to receive it because he's a great guy and I really, really like him a lot. But I saw that the dog had chewed it up and I'm like, there's no way I could actually put this out.
Does he not know you? Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I use it in the basement sometimes. But then I got this other one that, it's like a slight incline, but the position is right. And I know this because I can do
now, right?
I could do less of them.
Yeah.
And you go deeper and they hurt. So all those things maybe, so I don't really notice a difference, but maybe
I love the fact that somebody got you an exercise present. I mean, that's like,
they did,
that's a tough one. That's like, hey, why don't you try these out? These will work a little better.
I'll tell you why. No, this is actually a story behind why he did that, which is actually good. So my cousin's kids, who I'm all very close with. So one of them is her fiance, right? That got me this thing. Okay. So the other one, which would be her brother, is a Marine. So he goes off to the Marine Corps. He does his basic training, which is very hard for the Marines, apparently, right? Comes back and he's all fit. And he's kind of like bragging a little bit about fit he is and everything else. And it came up that, Bob does push-ups, and he's like, you can't do as many as I can. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm not going to try and beat. I'm probably not as a Marine, right?
But let's give it a shot.
So of course they rib me and I'm, joke around. And so I get down on the ground and I keep up with them.
Nice.
And so everyone was like,
nice.
Wow.
Nice.
You're like, what's going on? And by the way, I'm the least athletic person on the face of life.
I know. We talked about footsie last time.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing like I'm trying to brag on. I probably can't even bench press this microphone. Right? Somehow push-ups are like a thing.
Like your thing. Good.
So this guy saw me do this. He was really impressed, and he's like, I have this old push-up thing. Maybe Bob would like it.
So that's how it all came. And hey, let me give it to you.
I have this old push-up thing that my dog ate.
That my dog chewed for a little while.
Anyway, that's how that all came out. Well, anyway, I have a compliment for you too. So, okay. Remember a while ago, we told that story of the hero story where my friend jumped out of the car and started saving these people,
watched.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I sat there and watched.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what a nice guy.
He's great.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he watched the show and he got
no
in
kidding.
touch. Yeah, because he keeps up with whatever I don't know what I'm
That's
doing.
cool.
So I kept up with it. Or no, yeah, I don't know how he found it, but maybe I told him. I don't remember.
He watched the show because I said
Watched the show. No, I didn't tell him to watch this.
Yeah.
I forgot I even talked about him. But anyway, he saw it and he was like, "Oh my God, I remember that so fondly." And he gave me more information about it, which was, even made him look better.
Of course. Good for him. What a great guy.
He wasn't trying to do that, but
it's
But anyway, he said, "Man, now this is one of those episodes where you're using the Yeti, whatever." He's like, "Man, James, he's got a radio voice." I was like, "Oh, he's going to love to hear that."
Yes.
That was the episode where you were like, "No, so hey."
Yeah, I get it.
It showed.
Hello. How are you?
James, let's see your microphone here.
Nice.
I'm slightly sick. Yeah, right.
That's great. Hey, it's better than him saying I got a good face for radio, right? I mean, it's that's a more of a compliment. I like that. Thank you.
So apparently I look fit and you sound great, which is exactly the opposite of what's supposed to happen. The exact opposite of what we think of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not the pretty face at all. You are, Bob.
I guess so. And I don't have a good voice, but you.
Yeah, but me. You see? Match made in heaven right here.
I don't know what it is. Anyway, so that's all my catch-up work.
Yeah. That's great.
So we were talking off air.
Yeah, we were.
About some things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's what we want to continue talking about because I was like, we got to hit record.
Sure.
I mean, it's work-related stuff, but not specific work-related stuff. But I guess we can talk about that, or if you have any other I said insecurities. That was the
insecurities.
Yeah, that's what
he was going to say insecurities.
I was going to because that's what we were talking about.
Reminds me of a song I know, by the way. A song I know. Yeah. From what was that album? Theater of Life?
Theater of Life.
We'll go through that another time. We'll go through that. We are going to touch on Theater of Life at some point.
My other massive fan base.
We are going to touch on Theater of Life at some point in time.
Yeah. Well, Theater of Life is a darn good musical artist. It's me, of course. Those of you who don't know.
It is.
And why would you know? Because I think there's about 5 people on that news list.
And I'm not going to lie. I've listened to that actual song a couple times recently because I was like going through some things and looking at promotions. Like, oh yeah, Theater of Life.
Yeah.
And then there was like a radio version of Insecurities, right?
So for the radio.
I was like, what radio?
No radio. That's called a short version.
It was like a 10-minute version, and then there was like the 4-minute version or 5-minute version, which was the radio version.
Radio edit,
in case the radio wanted to pick it up.
Just in case it was going to get picked up all over. Right. Now we just call it the edited version.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's the radio version. It's the place to my radio sometimes. We'll have to discuss that. That's an amazing thing that you've done there. I mean, that's a lot. There's
That's a good song.
There.
That song,
yeah, that song was in here. That song was caught in my head for a good couple of days after I listened to it.
It's a good one.
I'm not lying to you, by the way.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know why either. Yeah,
none at all. I mean, it's like.
So many things we're throwing out there. You know why you're not famous? It's because you don't promote yourself.
I don't promote anything.
You just threw like albums out there, and you didn't even talk about it.
I didn't do a thing with it. Yeah,
you didn't do a thing with it.
I know.
You got websites everywhere,
but do it.
I'm trying to get really rolling here.
I know. And when I get the notification on this is how bad it is. I get the notification on my phone that you did something on Instagram, right? Like to promote Beyond the Beef. I mean, every time I get that notification, my heart sinks. I swear to I'm like
seriously?
So scared of being promoted. I have no idea why. I have no problem doing this stuff.
Yeah.
But the minute someone's like talking about it, I'm like, it's crazy.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do because I'm putting out some reels and stuff, and you never know what I'm capturing in there to put them out there. But
as long as I don't know about it, I don't care. Right?
No,
the minute I know about it, I'm going to be like, oh no, don't do it. Yeah, but that's why I can't watch it. I just can't just do whatever you want to do. Make me look as stupid as you want.
It's usually pretty self-deprecating. What's that word again? Deprecating. Yeah. There you go. See, I always get that one wrong. Yeah. It's one of those many. But insecurities. I mean, we could stick on that because there's a lot that goes on there, right?
is.
And I think it definitely shows sometimes with a lot of people. I like to get your thoughts and hear what you have to say a little bit around some of the things we said off air, and just start the conversation up for me a little bit here.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to start?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we were having a conversation. Go ahead.
No, I want you to start because I'm not sure how to approach this one right now. For very obvious reasons to you.
Yes, yeah. Well, because let's just approach it generically without specific situations that might get people fired.
Killing me.
I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
Okay, so bosses. Now, we've both been bosses. We've both had bosses, many of them. And we could talk about bosses or spouses or relationships or friends or anything, right? But we'll talk about work first. What we were saying is that what makes a bad boss every single time is what? Insecurity, right?
100%.
Because they come into it, and even I did when I was a boss too, right?
We all did.
Yeah, we all did. You come into it, especially if you're newer, and you don't feel qualified, right? You don't feel like you should be in that position. And so what do you do when you are in that spot is you start to second guess yourself, which causes you to project that onto other people.
That's right.
And then it just goes downhill from there, right? So that's kind of one version of it. The second version of it is that when you're insecure, then that's when you're the most vulnerable to listen to what other people have to say and take that as gospel. So we were talking about this last week, right? Yeah. Where people are so impressionable. And we were talking about Kamala Harris. That was the latest thing, is that the rewriting of Kamala Harris, right? Now, people who clearly saw something in her that they didn't like, and then all of a sudden the media starts saying she's the new golden child, and now she's the new golden child, and that's it. I was thinking about why that happens, and I think it's related to this boss thing. People are insecure. They're insecure in their own kind of ability to make choices, or their own ability. So they look for validation from other people. And if somebody else says that it's true, they're like, well, that must be true because I don't trust myself.
Right.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of how these bad bosses happen. And I did that when I was a boss. So that's kind of where this jumps off
absolutely.
from.
And we were talking about some past experiences and different things that had sort of gone on that Bob and I were familiar with and been through, and the different things like that along the way. And it totally happened to me as well, right? Yeah. And when I was first, a boss and a leader, I felt like I had to know everything. Right. I felt like I had to be the answer. I had to do this. I had to do that. I had to feel smarter and be smarter than maybe people that reported to me.
Yes.
And I knew I wasn't. So my insecurities were, like, oh my God, I know I'm not. So now I'm insecure. I'm like, oh, how do I look like I'm smarter than this person when they know more than me? And there was this whole feeling that I had to be the smartest guy in the room. I had to know all the answers. Otherwise, why would people look up to me or call me their boss?
That's what's expected of you, right?
That's what's expected, right? And it took many years for me to flip that on its side and say, no, I need to surround myself with people that are smarter than me. My job is to lead them and help them get to the next place and help coach them in certain situations from a little bit of a step away. But they're going to know things that I don't know, and that's excellent, right? I need to foster that. Yeah. But that took time.
Yes.
And you see it in workplaces, you see it in humans, you see it in relationships, that anytime it's these insecurities kind of come in, it turns ugly. It just makes an ugly thing come out, right? No matter what that may be, frustration or anger, or just, it looks different than you think it does. Because
if you feel like you should know something that you don't know, your immediate posture is defensive, right? Mm-hmm. Always defensive.
Always.
And defensiveness goes nowhere good. I mean, it's you're defending something that many times people are not even asking you to defend. It's in your head, right? That's kind of, I'll tell you where this insecurity thing came out from me when I was a boss. Oh my God, lots. I mean, this. Yeah. Oh boy, I hope that there are no ex-employees that are be like, oh my God,
you wrote a song Bob about it, Bob. You wrote a song about it.
That's what the song is about. It was one. Right? It was exactly that. But it also happened when I was writing the book. This was a big one because I was like, and we were friends during that whole time, right? And I was like, I've got this opportunity to write this book on strategy, and I feel like the most unqualified buffoon on the face of the planet. Even though I've been doing strategy my whole career, I've got a long, but I'm not like a Harvard professor who's supposed to be the strategy. You know what I mean? Like, and so I was so insecure. So what did I do with that? What I did with that is, instead of relying on my own process, which I know to be right and good and successful because it's worked for me, I had to validate that with the academics, right? And I had to go and get the resources and the books and the references. And my book, I referenced everywhere. Yep. Like I never put my own thoughts in there without saying, well, this comes from when, Michael Porter said blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all the stuff. Right. And now I read back that book and it's not my favorite book, right? Because it's my insecurity is like showing so much because all I keep doing is referencing other people's stuff instead of just telling people what the process is that I use, right?
Right. Like being that person, like have the confidence to be like a Michael Porter, like be that and create your own piece and make your own path and have your own ideas because you've got the experience to be able to create that, right? You've gone through it. Yeah,
and somebody told me that, like, what's interesting is you are that person for someone else. So like if I put it down in a book and I've got it published, now I'm that expert. Then someone else is looking at me like, oh, what does Bob say? Right. And that happened to me. Like I got a call from a university down in Florida. It was a small university, but they were like, this is like the one school that's using the book. They were like using the book. And I was like, oh, that's great. They're like, can you clarify a few things? Everything. So I was like, yeah, so the guy sent me like the lesson plan,
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and he sent me the whole lesson plan and everything. And there's like questions for the students that they have to do essays and stuff. Sure. And it's really interesting because the questions are written like, so Caporale says blah 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 blah. What do you think about this? And I'm like, wow, Caporale said, and it made me realize like, who the heck is this Caporale guy? Yeah, it was kind of cool. I'm thinking to myself, so someone is writing their next book and referencing my book and thinking that everything I wrote is right, when really everything I wrote is just what I think, right?
Yeah, and referencing other people's stuff.
Which, by the way, I got some of them wrong. This is the worst thing. The book is like a week away from being published, and I don't know what made me check back a reference, and it turns out that one of the references that I had had the wrong thing in it, right? And I was like, stop the presses. It was a stupid, very, very stupid little minor thing. Right? And I called up the publisher. I was like, you got to stop everything. They're like, why? I was like, oh my God, I got this one word wrong, literally a word. And they were like, are you kidding me? I said, but they said it's not, absolutely not important. We'll fix it in a later edit. Do you know how many mistakes happen? And just if you need proof, the place you referenced was wrong. So that's why the mistake is in your book. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. The insecurity, right? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. But this still lives deep inside your brain, even many years later after you've
I burned every copy.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I know. But it's, that's crazy. And it's true, right? I mean, you went through the whole process of writing a book. And it's a great book. You did it. It took a lot of work. It went out there, but you didn't even promote it like you would,
Nothing.
You didn't really talk much about it. You're like, oh, by the way, I got a book, We gave them out at some workshops and did some things from that perspective, but otherwise, nothing. And that is, probably the worst thing for this type of business. The worst. Because no one's going to find you if they don't know you're there. No. And being a product guy, Bob,
I know.
Who knows that without marketing, your product's not going to be successful.
And James forget it. Remember once that mistake, and it is the smallest, stupidest mistake. You know what the mistake was? I'll even tell you. You know, SMART, the mnemonic for SMART, where you have like SMART goals and objectives.
Yeah.
And it's like specific, measurable,
achievable.
Okay. You see how you don't know, right? It's like achievable or something.
Accountable or achievable.
And I got one of those words, not even wrong. It's like I got it. I made it to the common terminology instead of to the original article, which was slightly different wording, same meaning. That's how stupid the mistake was, is what I'm saying. And once I realized, oh my God, I got something wrong. That's it.
Yeah, I can't believe you left that in though. You left that in though?
What?
You left that in?
And what is even worse is like the acronym is SMART.
Yeah, and that wasn't very smart move, was it? Yeah.
It turns out there's about 17 million different versions of it, so it's not like I got it wrong, but because I referenced the original article, because I had to get back to the reference because I'm insecure, right? Then the original article wording was slightly different. I was like, oh my God, that's it. You know, I'm going to jail.
Yeah. I think you're okay. I don't think.
The statute of limitations has expired.
Exactly. I think you're good at this point in time. I think everything's going to be all right.
Probably all right. But boy, so do people think I'm stupid.
Oh yeah, that makes SMART goals and he spelled it wrong. Yeah, he gave the wrong acronyms. Yeah, I know he didn't spell it wrong, but he gave the wrong words. It's not real smart. Yeah. That's funny. It's like
SMART
that Ragran's tattoo that
SMORT.
Yeah.
Let's say sport.
Really funny. But here's the thing, right? Here's something on this whole insecurities thing, right? There's a flip side of that too, right? And I don't mean to, I don't want to kind of stretch it around kind of what we're talking about, but I had a different scenario that took place recently where there was a restaurant in town that just opened up. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the owner has another restaurant, a different area, very successful. They're promoting, they're doing all sorts of stuff. And it was a local sort of restaurant and it was new and whatever. We're like, you know what, let's go. We were waiting for it to open, mm-hmm. right? Usually not the best time to go to a restaurant being the day 2 that they're open, right? Probably not.
Never.
Probably not a good idea. Yeah. And this time was really no different. And I don't mean to crush the restaurant or anything, and I definitely won't tell you the name of it or anything like that. But I do want to go through the fact that there was a lot of promotions and there was a lot of excitement and there was a lot of stuff that was going on. And this person was promoting and talking and really getting people excited for it, right? Through all social media and sort of stuff there. Obviously, you need to do that if you're going to be a successful business, right? Especially a restaurant. Yeah. And this one did. And then we showed up. And over the next 3 hours... Yep, 3 hours. which this restaurant was more of a food that would be created and delivered in a quick way, right? It was Mexican type of food, right? So it was
shouldn't be 3 hours,
right? Shouldn't take 3 hours, right? We had gone through an experience where we only had our drinks. Then we didn't, nobody asked for more. We really weren't getting helped. The food wasn't coming at all. People were leaving, right? So the place was packed. People started leaving. I felt bad. We're going to hang out. We're going to work through this. Instead of we're good. Whatever. We'll just have a couple margaritas and relax a little bit. Fine. When food actually did come, we ordered like 3 tacos each. They brought us like 12 because everybody that they made the tacos for had left. So they started giving us the wrong food. And then they were like, oh, well, just take it now. Cause they're like, so we had just this array of like tacos. Half of them were cold, and I was like, all right, I don't know what's going on here. Right. So things aren't really going well. And then they're like, would you like dessert? I'm like, you know what? Let me see the menu. Let me just see the menu. And yes, I just ate like 12 tacos and I asked for a dessert menu. But neither here nor there. 20 minutes later, there's no dessert menu in my hand. I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. And I'm not. I'm giving all the patience in the world.
Yeah. But if I'm there 3 hours, I want dessert.
But I like dessert.
Especially after
By
12
now, my
tacos.
food is digested, right? Because somebody next to us got the dessert, and it looked even better than the dinner, right? It was like fried churros and awesome ice cream. I was like, oh, I gotta try this.
By the way,
but if it's gonna,
thank God you have a good voice, because the fit thing ain't gonna happen that way.
no, that's why we stay right here. That's why we stay right here. Yeah, no, it's all good, right? Well, the good news is she was, the waitress was looking out for my diet, and I never got.
That's nice of her, yeah.
So I said, she's like, all right, you're fat. No dessert menu for you. After all those tacos, do yourself a favor and tap out, right? But no, she said, all right, you know what? We're good. We'll take the check. Check came like that.
Of course.
That was quick. And I look at the bill and I'm like, we've been here for 3 hours. They've apologized to us a bunch of times. Thanks for your patience. You guys are great. And no worries. And I look at it and it says the appetizer, and next to it says no fee. Okay.
Yeah.
It says no fee. The words no fee next to the appetizer.
Saying like it's comped.
So what do you think at that point? Yeah, you think it's comped.
Yeah.
You think it's comped, right? Oh, that's nice. I then just looked through the bill and I noticed that it was still charged. So it said no fee, but then it was charged. It was like an $8 whatever.
Where was it charged though? Like on a different line
on the
item?
bottom line, it was added up. So the line item, the dollar amount was still there.
Oh.
So as you added them all up, and I added them all up, I was like, oh, that number is added within the total. So it really wasn't comped, even though it says no fee.
So like they thought about giving it to you for free, but then changed their mind? Is that what it seemed
So
like?
I approached her and I said, hey, I really appreciate this, by the way. I appreciate it. You didn't have to do it. I appreciate it. But it looks like you were, comping us an appetizer and whatnot. It says no fee next to it. But I noticed that it's still charged at the bottom.
Fee.
You're not going to believe the response to this.
What?
She looks at it and she goes, oh, I don't know why it says no fee there. We weren't No, I don't know why it says that. I'll have to fix that in the system.
Uh-huh.
I said, oh, so you weren't comping me the appetizer?
So you're charging me twice?
So you were charging me for the appetizer? I was like, this was an easy out to maybe get me to come back next time.
What?
By saying, no, it wasn't being comped. It was just something wrong in the computer is what she said. Why it said no fee. So it was right. It should have been added to the dollar amount total. And so I paid, so nothing was comped.
Well, now, but they weren't like saying that you should have been charged on top of what you would charge on the bottom.
No.
They were just saying that, we didn't really actually mean to do that.
Correct.
Whoops. Yeah.
Whoops. You were always getting charged full.
Yeah.
We weren't comping anything. We spent a lot of money there.
And time.
And time. And I think that one of the things you do if you're a restaurant owner or whatever is you give a free appetizer, you get a round of drinks, you give a card for people to come back so they could spend more money. Like you really are trying to build the business. And so I was like shocked. I was like, are you serious?
So
I was like,
you're going to fix it?
Okay, it's fine. Like I didn't expect anything free, but when I saw it, I was like, okay, good. She was going to comp us an app. And then I was like, oh, she didn't comp us the app. Yeah. Oh, maybe she tried to, but she didn't. She said, no, I never tried to. I wasn't trying to give you anything.
Right. Well, now
you're
we're
paying
fighting.
full price.
Yeah.
You're paying full price. Yeah. I didn't argue,
You didn't
whatever.
say that?
I didn't. I can't expect free stuff. I make a decision not to go back.
Well, yeah, that's the best power that you have, by the way.
And wife and I were doing some math, and we were like, for every 15 minutes, maybe it's 30 days until we come back again. So we got to 3 hours because maybe they got to work out some kinks, right? But 3 hours is a long time.
I don't know that I would ever go back to a place
I'm not right now. I'm not unless
when they don't acknowledge that they've done something wrong. You know what I mean? So
like there's like this I know we talked about self-awareness all the time, right? But there's this there were no insecurities. Like nobody was insecure.
Yeah.
She didn't care. Nope. That's not free. See you later.
I was wondering.
The restaurant owner put a bad product out there. Let's just be honest.
No doubt.
The product wasn't ready for prime time.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. They didn't have the service ready. Place was full. They were promoting like crazy. They knew they were going to be busy. The product was not good. Whether it was the food or whether it was the service, they promoted a product that wasn't good. And they weren't insecure about it at all. They were more than boisterous about it. And you put out something bad. So it's like, you got to be in the middle somewhere. That's the reason why I told the story. I'm like, these people were confident with what they were doing.
Yeah. But
in the meantime, the experience was negative.
Or, and I don't know the answer to this, or were they insecure, but covering it like most insecure people do?
Maybe.
With defensiveness. Because it really comes back down to that, right? Like if someone is insecure about their abilities and you call them out on it, there's really two responses. One is humility, and the other is complete defensiveness. Right? And maybe it's that. I mean, it's not like they didn't know they were screwing up. They clearly knew that they were screwing up.
Clearly knew. They clearly knew.
So now, the person you were talking to, was this like a manager that could have comped it, or it was the waitress? Or
no, this was the waitress. Okay. The manager stopped making eye contact with me after about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay, so maybe they couldn't. Yeah. Maybe that the server couldn't do anything about it. So that could be as well. But I think it's what overconfidence, sometimes the root of that is also insecurity, right? Because
that's
if
true.
you're just like, if you know that you're good at something, you're not boisterous about it. You don't
have to be.
Yeah, you don't have to be. You don't brag about it. You don't have to put it in people's face. You don't have to constantly tell people that I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this. Right. I'm a product management expert. Okay, let that speak for itself, as it were. Right? Like,
or the master of it, yeah.
Whatever you want to say. I mean,
whatever it is.
Yeah, let that speak for itself. And then that means when you're really secure in something, then that's what happens. But when you're not secure in something, that's when you have to keep telling somebody how good you are. To people. Yeah, how I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah. And maybe it's the same type of thing. Like, they know they were screwing up. So what's their response? Their response was defensiveness, right? Like, they're covering up. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. What do you mean? It's like, why would I? Yeah. And that's worse. I still say, like, the insecurity is the root of all evil. Like,
I agree.
The root of all evil. And what's interesting about insecurity too is that, what do people actually want from others? Like if I'm talking to you, right? And you think that I'm expecting you to be super smart at something. Okay. Well, you being super smart at something is only going to make me feel worse about myself. I actually don't want you to be super smart at something, right? Because then I'm sitting and saying, wow, he's smart and I'm an idiot, right? And it just makes me more insecure. So, like, the fact that you're not super smart at something is going to, not that this is true in your case, but I'm saying if you were not, if you were.
The fact that you're an idiot makes me feel like a genius.
If you were,
this is why you're on the show, James. You're my sidekick.
Right. This is what I'm trying to say.
Just be my sidekick and don't be smart.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But the fact that...
Right back to it. Good.
Yes.
Perfect.
No. Right. Okay. I guess so.
Yeah, see? Now it took a couple episodes for it all to come together. Yeah,
now I understand
for sure.
why. No, but you get what I'm saying is that when somebody is super, super, super smart or super, super, super good at something, it makes you feel worse about yourself. So, like, I don't know, why would we want that of ourselves, right?
I guess it depends. I don't know if I totally agree with that. Like, when there are people that are smart at things that maybe I'm not smart at, right? Yeah. Or better at things than I am at stuff. It doesn't always make me feel like an idiot or that I'm not good at it. It says I like to learn from it. And will it make me better? And will it make me different and grow and do different things from that perspective, right?
True, yeah. If it's something that you don't expect of yourself, but what if it's something you expect of yourself?
If I expect to be the best and then somebody's better?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a knockdown.
Boom,
it's a little bit of a
right.
knocks you off your pedestal a little bit, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so, but maybe that's
life.
But that's life. Yeah,
you're never the best at everything. You're never the best at anything, quite honestly.
But that's the point. Is that so? If you are, like, if what you're expecting of yourself is I'm the best, and I'm going to make sure other people know that I'm the best, what you're actually doing is making those other people maybe not feel so great about themselves. So, like, embrace what I guess the whole point is: embrace your mistakes, embrace your inefficiencies or insufficiencies.
Learn and grow. Yeah, get better. You're never the best.
I don't know.
You're never the fastest, strongest, or the best really at anything. And if you come across as saying you are the best, by the way, then you're overconfident and you're going over the top. Right?
A jerk. Yeah.
Always be willing to learn, even in things that you're great at. Yeah. Right. And that's life. And not everybody necessarily approaches it that way. They get offended if they, but also sometimes things aren't presented in the right way to be accepted. But that's a whole nother situation or conversation. But it's tough, but you're never going to be the best at, dare I say, anything.
Yeah. And so going back to
it depends on the eyes you're looking it through, but still.
Going back to the boss thing.
Yeah.
What would you rather have? Here's three choices. Okay. Choice one is a boss who really knows what they're doing, like really, really knows everything. Choice two is a boss who doesn't know what they probably should know, but admits it. And choice three is a boss that doesn't know what they should know, but doesn't admit it and hides it with defensiveness and so forth. What's the best and the worst case?
From my perspective, I think it might be different than some people. Like my piece would be, a boss is not going to know everything. So if they don't know everything and they admit that they don't know everything, would be the most important piece. You're never going to find a boss that knows everything.
That's where I'd be too, because if you go to the first one, which is a boss that knows everything, legit, then what do you need me for? Right? Like, right. I mean, then that makes me feel kind of more insecure about myself, because I should probably know what you know, and I don't know what you know.
Yeah, I just wonder what's the value I add to the company, or what is the value I add.
Kind of probably leads you to not trust me as much because you can do it better than me, right? And then on the other side of it, a boss who doesn't know what they're doing, but wants to pretend or hide with defensiveness, that's the worst boss in the world, right? Because they're always ripping on you and tearing you down and everything else because of their own insecurities. So that middle one, to me, is the best boss, is the one that is not knowledgeable about everything, but admits that and knows when to seek help and knows when to use their team and utilize their team and so forth. So 100%. So if you're a boss, I think people would probably agree with this. That's the best boss you could be.
No doubt.
Not the insecure one or the defensive one or the one who feels like they should know everything, because no one is expecting that of you. Nobody wants that from you, right? That's the whole thing. Exactly. They don't want that.
They don't want that. Even if you have the answers sometimes to most things, right? You need to back away sometimes, because what they want is approachable. They want to feel part of something. They want to feel like your teammates want to feel like they add value, that they're going to, you know what I mean? Like, all of these pieces are so important to the psychological aspect of it. And bosses, more often than not, in every place I've seen, when they're coming to the role, a lot of times it's, I got to prove myself. I got to prove myself. I got to prove myself.
Yeah.
And
nobody wants you to.
Nobody wants you to prove yourself.
That's
you know what I mean?
Or at least on your team.
Prove. You're there. You can prove yourself by being a good leader.
That's right.
Period. Yeah. And that's how you can prove yourself.
Admit your shortcomings. Lean on other people. Fill the gaps. Learn. Now, if you're a plum idiot and you never learn anything, then maybe, but that'll take care of itself.
Base core knowledge, right? Exactly. You can't be a dope. But
I'm guessing that'll take care of itself at some point. But
for sure.
That's kind of interesting. So that covers a lot of ranges of stuff. But I think the key, boy, is that watch that insecurity. All of us need to watch that insecurity, because we all do it. It really can bite us. And again, no one's expecting us to be perfect or the best at anything. And in fact, when we are too good, it sometimes makes other people feel lousy. So I don't know, maybe that's the lesson, right? Because we still like solutions. But
but if you're, if you're receiving information, don't make it make you feel lousy. Like,
right.
Like, as much as I can say this, because it's my words aren't going to change how people feel about themselves necessarily, but be willing to accept things. I'll say it to this day that I learned a lot, and I continue to learn a lot from you on different things. You don't learn from me, which is why you folks feel so good about yourself. But we worked well together, and throughout the years, it wasn't because we were the same person. God knows we're not, right? No. We're absolutely, in many ways, we learn from each other, and we go back and forth. And I feel like it gives me more, right? You grow. If you're not growing, you're dying, I always say, right? So that growth is important.
Very true.
So,
by the way, I learn from you all the time. You're an idiot. This proves you're an idiot. But
how to actually have fun, go out of the house,
exactly.
Meet people,
how to
socialize,
let life just kind of
have a good time.
How to let life
live,
come.
Be in the moment.
Yeah, right. Like, don't sweat everything, because you know me, I try and stay ahead of everything, being the planner that I am. And I'm telling you, as many things as I try and stay ahead of, then something else breaks, right? And it's unexpected, and it's something that I, worked to avoid and I couldn't avoid. Every time something like that happens, which is every single week, I'm like, See, James would have never sweat this stuff, right? I learn from you all the time. And I'll tell you something else too that will make you all right. So my mother, of course, is she's a fan.
Mom.
You love Mom, right?
Mom.
So
I love Mom.
And she loves you, James, because let me tell you. So she listened to the Sidekick episode, right? Oh, I talked to her on the phone. She said, every time I talk to her, she said, you and James are so great. Okay. So the Sidekick episode comes, it airs or whatever. And I talk to her probably once a week. And and I talked to her and she has this different kind of air about her, right? She's like, oh, that episode is so good. But James is not your sidekick. You couldn't do that with it. She starts yelling at me.
Yes.
I'm like,
yes, Mom. This is why I love Mom. This is why I love Mom.
I didn't say that. And she's like, you guys are so good with one another and so good for just like, you need each other. It's like it's total equal thing. I said, I know that. I didn't say she was talk to his wife for crying out loud. So she's mad at me.
She's mad. Yeah. See, good.
It's like, good. You're not. Somebody's not on my side. Sidekick. That is ridiculous.
Somebody's on my side.
I'm sure in this episode she's gonna. Yeah. Well, I don't know what she'll say. Maybe she'll say, you know what? You this time you were right. He's not as smart as you. So.
I don't think she will say that. I don't think she'll say that at all.
She won't say that. She'll say, "Do ever call him an idiot again? You know what? Yeah. You need to."
I had a friend, by the way, that commented on the video or posted the video or whatnot that basically called me Robin to your Batman. So as much as your mom brings me up, my friends happen to continue to smash me in the face. So yeah, that's just fun.
That's all right. Whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
What do I care?
And I have one more thing. Speaking of, it made me think of it is the servers. Because I was thinking about you with the churros and the 12 tacos. I don't go out to eat anymore because I can't stand the whole experience. We talked about people, and the whole thing, the tipping and the this. There's something that reminded me of that I used to hate. So when you and I we clean our plates, because we're Italian, and that's what we do.
Of course, you clean the plate.
That's what you waste. Right. My grandmother's always in my ear. There are people starving. Okay,
starving.
I'm full, but I don't care. So anyway, you go to the restaurant, you finish what they give you, and then the server comes and says, "Oh, someone enjoyed their meal." Like, I hate when they do. Like, why would you ever do that to me?
They may as well have said, "Hey, good job, fat guy."
Whoa, are you a pig? Like, you gave it to me. Like,
you can eat.
You handed me a plate of food, and now you're going to literally make fun of me for eating it.
Because I finished it. And
then they have the nerve after they do that to say, "So anybody care for dessert?" No. Like, I actually, yes, but
I hate that. A lot of times though, you also get when there's like a little something left on the plate. Can you wrap that? The people at the table that make those little funny comments.
Right.
Yeah, I hate that.
So not only am I supposed to overpay for my meal, I'm supposed to tip ridiculous amounts. I'm supposed to put up with bad service. But then I'm also supposed to leave half my meal. Otherwise, I'm going to get ridiculed. Like, what is wrong with the restaurant industry? Like, have they not figured any of this stuff out? You're doing everything you can to make me not want to go to your restaurant. And then they're going to charge you for appetizers. It's ridiculous.
They could have charged me. That's not my problem. Don't tell me it's free and then say it was a mistake that I added the word free. Like, come on, man. You're immediate. I gave them an out, Bob. Yeah. All they had to say is, "Oh yeah, like
no problem.
Maybe I'll just go take it off." Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll just go take it off. And even if that wasn't the case, it obviously wasn't the case. She didn't do it on purpose. But all she had to do was take it off the bill.
That's it.
Boom! I walk out a happy person. I go, "Oh, that was at least nice. I'll give them another shot."
And take credit.
They recognized it.
Take credit.
They took acceptance of it. They said, "I'm sorry. You know what? It was $9. It was $9. It's not going to break my bank. It's not going to break their bank, but it would have made me go back and they would have made a lot more."
Yeah,
so
that's right. That's right.
That's all.
Especially 3 hours worth of
crazy.
margaritas. Let me tell you.
I know.
I've seen
Let me
the
tell you,
Luizzi
I was
family
one eye
guys.
going, $9?
Wait a second.
Oh, yeah. I had my big sombrero on trying to read the.
Hey. Oh, man, that's funny.
Maybe you would have been here 3 hours. You didn't order all those margaritas, buddy. You know? Yeah.
Hey, weren't we going to go to lunch this week?
Yeah, we were.
We didn't.
It's Thursday.
I know.
Yeah, and we didn't go to lunch this week.
Maybe next week.
Next week's good.
right.
You got time next week?
Only if you take me to this place.
Oh, no, we're not going there. We're not going there. I could take you there, actually. I should take you there. We should go to some of these
It could be an
places.
interesting thing.
It could be a thing. Yeah,
I don't know.
could
Let's
be a
think
thing.
about that.
All right, we'll talk about it.
Well, while we're thinking about that, that wraps this episode. That went pretty quick. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much time we
I
had.
don't think we talked about much, but I don't.
Insecurities.
Yeah, I always look for three things for the title, but I don't know that we had three. Maybe
I think it should just be insecurities
and
Theater of Life.
Oh, Theater of Life.
If you haven't listened to it, people, go to Theater of Life and listen to the song "Insecurities" by Bob Caporale.
That's Insecurity. Yeah.
It's
I'm going to
it's a
promote
brainworm.
myself, James. Here's how you
It's
get
a brainworm. Keeps going.
Yeah. Theateroflife.com, but it's theater with R-E, not E-R. It's the more traditional spelling of theater.
Oh, yeah.
Or Bob.
And it's the radio version you want to hear, by the way, not the long version.
Or
just so you know.
BobCaporale.com. You can go to my music tab and Insecurity is there too. Yeah, let us know what you think. That would be fun.
Yeah.
And if they start to say, oh my God, this is awful, then I am literally crawling into a hole and never coming out again. So.
Oh, no. Come on.
I'm not
never
kidding.
been told things were awful. Yeah. We'll link to it too. We'll send out some links. Maybe put a little bit on the Beyond the Beef page. Let's just cross connect a little bit. I mean, you got some magic out there. Let's make
This is how you're supposed to do it, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah,
you know what though?
yeah.
Okay, I got a story for the next episode.
Okay.
If people go check out Theater of Life. I released a new song not too long ago. It was a song I wrote a while ago.
May of this year, actually.
Oh, you saw it.
Buddy,
It's called Still. Now, my music is not very uplifting. As anybody who's looking for feel-good music, Theater of Life is not the place to go.
So did you just record that one, by the way? Is that
I
newly recorded?
recorded it a while ago, but there's a story behind it. That's a funny story too.
right.
So we'll talk about that one next week. So go listen to find Theater of Life. I'm on Spotify and iTunes and everything else. Theater of Life.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
And the Insecurity, and then the latest song is Still. Listen to that, and next week I'll tell you what it's about.
Perfect. We'll talk
It's not
about
what
it.
you think.
Yeah.
It's not what you think.
This is what I'm, by the way, see what I'm doing for you?
Oh, man.
Do you see what I'm doing for you? Okay. I just want you to see it.
You're
Just
going to
want you
make
to see
me
it, Bob.
blush.
Eyes wide open. Eyes wide open. Okay.
You're good.
See my value.
You're good. Oh,
see my
I
value.
see your value. You're a good man, James. A good man. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining and watching again. Hit subscribe, share, tell us what you think, comment, all those great things. While you're doing that, we can't wait to see you back here on another episode of
Beyond the Beef.
See you next time, everyone.
Bye, guys.